Hi, I'm Cedric, and I wanted to share a little bit of my new book, Ineayoga, and read the first chapter so you can have an idea of what's going to be in it. So see it as a kind of a podcast episode or something like that, and maybe I get you hooked into yoga. All right, so let's start. Ineayoga, an introduction to Tantra Yoga and how you would simply explain it to your mate at the bar. Introduction. Out for a drink. Imagine you're sitting at a bar, having a casual conversation with your mate who's curious to know what this yoga thing is actually all about. You know that it is more than just doing stretching exercises to relaxing music for an hour, because maybe you have already done it, or at least you have heard about it from a good friend. Yoga gives you something that is hard to put into words. You probably know this special moment after a good yoga session. You roll out of Śavāsana, the final relaxation pose, into a seat and get that 1 minute of absolute inner peace. You're simply here, present, without worrying, without thinking about the future or the past. Everything is somehow just as it is, perfectly fine. Yoga gives you a feeling that is more than just pure stretching. And you somehow got to listen to this book because you're in a kind of search and want to find out more about what this feeling is or how yoga does what it does. And this book is a little journey into the profound teachings of yoga, and that means also an exciting journey towards yourself at the same time. This self-discovery is probably what fascinates you so much about yoga. Yoga, when practiced properly, mysteriously brings us into intimate contact with our innermost nature. And that is the most beautiful and glorious thing that can happen to us. It is this 1 minute of deep inner peace after yoga class that is so difficult to express in words. But often there are only brief moments, a flicker of deepest fulfillment or somehow a feeling of just being enough. And before you know it, the moment is gone. This creates in us the longing to seek this intimate contact with ourselves again. And that is perhaps also why you now listen to this book. The beginning of the spiritual path is the awakening to the search for the innermost connection, the feeling of there is more, the deep desire to experience the truth about yourself and the world. My motivation and intention in writing this book is to give you a guide to help you on your journey, to support your transformation from a seeker to someone who has found. And of course, so that you can explain to your friend at the bar how fantastic yoga is. If we were in the film The Matrix, one of my favorites, Morpheus would now ask Neo, do you want to know what exactly the Matrix is? And with the Matrix he means yoga. He holds a red and a blue pill in his hands. Neo takes the red pill as a sign of his decision to make the truth the highest priority of his existence. Neo is ready to wake up from the Matrix and be freed from it. Shortly afterwards, he looks into a mirror, sees his reflection, and notices something is not quite right. The world and his reflection are riddled with strange cracks. He touches the mirror curiously and then unexpectedly dives into it as if it were made of liquid. The touch of his fingertips distorts the reflection, and suddenly the liquid glides over his skin and covers him completely, inside and out. Neo seizes fear, he screams. The reality that he had thought was his reality bends like waves on the water, blurs and distorts and dissolves. Suddenly, Neo wakes up in the real world and has to throw up. When he asked why his eyes hurt so much, Morpheus dryly replies, "Because you are really using them for the first time." The Matrix is an outstanding film that uses breathtaking images to tell the story of the spiritual journey in metaphorical terms. Like Neo, you will also encounter moments on this journey in which your self-image and your reality will bend, transform, and devour you. Like Neo, at some point you too will have to decide to swallow the red pill and prioritize the truth, letting go of your seemingly reassuring ideas about yourself and the world. This is the process of awakening, which in yoga, as in the Matrix, is referred to as liberation or moksha. The path to truth is the path to freedom, and only those who are fully prepared to truly give up everything can ultimately follow it. Yet, the fruit of this process is nothing less than to experience the whole world in boundless beauty. This process has no real end, but it does have significant milestones that bring great transformation and fulfillment and beauty, and yes, also staggering confusion, pain, and dissolution. Perhaps one day you too will say, like Neo, "Now, for the first time, I truly see." Are you ready for this journey? Morpheus would now ask you, take the blue pill and go back to your old life. Close this book and stop delving deeper into yoga. Or take the red pill and follow me down the rabbit hole of truth to the deepest depth of finding out what exactly the Matrix is, what exactly yoga is. Yoga is a buzzword, that's for sure. Yoga has found its way into probably every country in the world and is on everyone's lips. Granny and Grandpa have already heard about it. The handyman knows about it. The computer nerd, the doctor, the truck driver, the stockbroker, even those acquaintances who have the least to do with spirituality and only talk about fashion or football and nails or partying, even they have already heard about it. And even a laptop has been given the product name Yoga, presumably because the display can bend completely and yoga apparently stands for flexibility. Or simply because it's a buzzword and products can be easily marketed with it. Okay, we all know that yoga has nothing to do with laptops. But what is it actually? The class in the yoga studio? The poses themselves? The Om?